So, sir, can I have you introduce yourself briefly?
I'm Tom Rolfe. I have lived in Lewis and Clark County for over 30 years. Born and raised in Montana in Bozeman, and been involved in the automobile business all my life. I'm a former state legislator, and I have been quite active in some of the not with a lot of the nonprofits around the Helen area over the last few years. My children were all went to Helena High, and my wife actually is a fourth generation Montanan.
Very good. So, Mr. Rolfe, why do you believe you're the best person to become Lewis and Clark County's next commissioner?
Well, I've always been a person who tries to ask questions and investigate things before I make decisions. I think I can offer a spirit of cooperation and understanding. I've always kind of enjoyed talking with people I didn't necessarily agree with, because I find that a lot of times I learn things from them that I didn't know, and sometimes we change each other's minds. But I like very much the idea of being able to provide a collaborative experience for folks who have interaction with county government, try to solve problems and try to avoid major conflict.
Well, what would be your top priority if you're elected to this position?
Well, I believe supporting first responders and law enforcement is extremely important. That's one of the really important things we need to do here in Lewis and Clark County, and they are so vital to the safety, public safety, that that's something we've got to do. I believe it's very important that we stay on top of mental health issues. I think that the COVID crisis is going to be a source of real mental health problems for some folks, and we've got to be prepared to work both with public and private organizations to try to deal with that. And tied into that is the issue of suicide prevention. It's really important to me that we do as much as we can for the people without raising taxes. I'm not going to be interested in raising taxes. I'm going to be interested in trying to make government as efficient as possible and accomplish the things that need to be done without raising taxes.
What do you see as the biggest differences between you and your opponent in this race?
I think maybe just the willingness to work with folks that I might disagree with on some things, and try to find common ground where we can work together to make our communities here in Lewis and Clark County a better place. And I really feel that's a skill I have that I can offer that maybe makes a difference.
Now, both you and your opponent have been critical of the current zoning proposal that the county commission is talking about. How did you end up coming to that position?
Well, that's not a new thing for me. I've always been a kind of a property rights guy. I do think that it's very important to protect the property rights of people. I think it's important to try to solve problems, and sometimes government has to do that. For instance, at one of the last meetings about zoning that the county had, I offered a 3-point alternative proposal. I sensed that there was maybe a willingness on both sides of the zoning issue to try to come together, and it seems as though there were several folks on both sides that gave some indication that might be the case. So I proposed that we try to come together and make an alternative proposal that is acceptable to a larger number of people.
If you're elected and the commission puts it in place here when they consider it, are there changes that you want to advocate for in the zoning?
Yes, I absolutely believe that the 10-acre limit has to go. I don't think that's fair to anybody. It's not an issue where one size fits all by any stretch of the imagination. And I think that needs to go. I am concerned about the precedent of making the top-down zoning overshadow or replace zoning that's been created by local neighborhoods in citizen-initiated zoning. I believe that citizen-initiated zoning has to be the top priority and be the one that everything else follows behind. So there are a few other issues that are quite important. We do have to plan for our growth, and we have to look at building proper infrastructure for that growth. But the key to it here is working with people and not taking away people's property rights and not making it difficult for businesses and individuals to succeed and be able to do what they want to do with their property.
Besides the zoning issue, what do you think is the biggest issue that the county is going to face if you're elected during your term?
I think without a doubt it's going to be mental health issues. I think we're going to see, and we're already starting to see, more examples of problems because of the COVID crisis. And as we've got problems with addiction that seem to be getting worse and worse. But the mental health crisis, I think, is going to be probably one of the largest problems we see, and we need to have a public-private partnership to try to deal with that, to give people the support they need.
What is your opinion of the current county budget, and are there any changes you'd like to see in it?
Well, they do a really good job of right now, I think, of trying to make the money stretch by using the grants that they get from state and federal government to do more complete jobs without raising tax dollars. I think that has to be continued. I think more than anything, get the most out of the dollar for the people of Lewis and Clark County without raising taxes.
All right, well, what message would you like to leave voters in Lewis and Clark County with?
I'd like to use my lifetime experience in working with people and solving their problems to help solve the problems that exist in Lewis and Clark County or that people feel exist. And I'd like to work with them and do that. I want to be able to work with people of all backgrounds and all beliefs. I think that's a really important part that I can offer because of my lifetime experience in solving people's problems, regardless of where they're coming from or who they do. I've sold a number of cars to people that on other issues I disagreed with. I think I can offer the ability to work with people, even folks that think they might disagree with me from time to time. I think we can do it, and we can disagree without being disagreeable, and we can move forward to do the best for our county.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.